With the Giants paying some attention to receivers in free agency, does that mean they should go look for other positions in the first round? What's going on, guys? Going on 27 Squad. Welcome back into another video. And I just want to make a video talking about the draft and the New York Giants and what they may do in the first round. Obviously, there are plenty of candidates to draft in the first round with that 25th overall pick. It is really a sweet spot for all the type of positions that we need, whether it be wide receiver, corner, safety may even be an option if Brian Branch were to fall. A guy like Osiris Torrance, a guard. There could be a lot of options for the Giants in the first round. And with the Giants bringing back Darius Slayton on a 2-year, $12 million deal and signing Parris Campbell for a 1-year deal and Jeff Smith, does that now mean that the Giants won't go receiver in the first round, or maybe they should just keep it lower on their priority? I'm not sure if I'm willing to say that yet. I don't think the Giants and what they did in free agency really takes away from them targeting a receiver in the first round. Now, I definitely think they won't trade up for a receiver or anything like that, but you got to keep in mind, I mean, they brought back Darius Slayton. Okay, a lot of people thought they were going to do that already, although some people thought they weren't going to bring him back. I, for one, was one of the people that thought they were going to bring him back. And then you look at the signing of Parris Campbell. Yes, he had a good season last year. He was a former second-round pick. He's not a bad player by any stretch, but this guy has injury concerns, and he only played one full season last year, and he's on a 1-year deal worth $4.7 million. That takes away nothing from potentially drafting a guy to stick around for 5 years. And then you have a guy like Jeff Smith, who I don't see anything more than being a Cody Core type player, a guy that plays special teams and contribute every once in a while in receiving game, whether it be fatigue or, dear God, I hope not, injuries. So I don't think the Giants can steer away from getting a wide receiver if the opportunity presents itself. Like I said, the biggest wide receiver I want is Zay Flowers, ironically not the biggest at 5'9", but he's explosive, great run after the catch. I mean, he's a playmaker guy. Addison is a guy as well that I really like as well, but Zay Flowers just plays a lot bigger. Although Zay Flowers is 2 inches shorter than Addison, Zay Flowers just plays a lot bigger, stronger hands. I just like him a little bit better. That's just my opinion. But if we get Addison, I'll be ecstatic as well. Now, I did say before that the Giants may not be able to get receiver unless they trade up in this draft. I'm not saying at all that the Giants should trade up in this draft for a receiver. I'm saying if they do want a receiver in this draft, they may have to trade up for one. You look at the main 5 receivers going in this draft: Quentin Johnson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, and I'm sure I'm missing one. Okay, I went back and I'm not missing one. I thought there was 5, but there's only 4 receivers that are really worth taking in the first round. Jalen Hyatt is not one of those guys. And I know a lot of people may bring up the option of Quentin Johnson. Now, Quentin Johnson is a guy that may fall down in the draft. I know in the beginning of the process, as in every draft, there's always a guy who's rated highly in every mock draft possible, and then when it comes to draft time, they start falling down on boards. Quentin Johnson is a guy that I see falling down on boards. A lot of people really get reminded of Kevin White, the former 7th overall pick by the Chicago Bears. Very, very similar in where he projects and kind of coming on out of nowhere. And I just see a lot of Kevin White and Quentin Johnston. Johnston is probably the only outside receiver in the top tier of wide receivers around, the only outside guy. I guess Jordan Addison, you could play outside. He's played a lot of outside at USC, but he's just not ideal in the NFL. He's probably most certainly going to be a slot. Johnston's probably the only guy you want to put outside. And so I know a lot of people may say, all right, we need an outside guy. We could use some outside depth. Go ahead and grab him up. We have enough slot guys, but I'd still go after a Zay Flowers or an Addison. Wan'Dale Robinson is hurt right now. We don't know what's going on with Richie James. We still have Isaiah Hodgins and Darius Slayton on the outside. We could use some playmakers on the inside. Now, this is only if we go wide receiver, right? we could still, my option is still cornerback. I really want a guy like Deonte Banks, man. I think he fits this defense perfectly. We have a huge hole at that number 2 cornerback position. I am not going into that with Aaron Robinson at cornerback because I don't even know we're bringing back Fabian Moreau right now. He's probably going to want too much than what we're willing to give him. We just had Julian Love leave, so that's another loss in the secondary. So we need a lot of help in the secondary. But one thing I will say is that the Giants should not go in the mid-round and get themselves a wide receiver. Then I think you will just be adding to the pack. I don't think you'll be really upgrading it, if anything. I think you're just giving depth. If they want to add another receiver, let it be in like the later rounds. I really don't want to sacrifice another second, third round pick on a wide receiver if they're just going to be mixed up in that grouping and it's not going to make a difference to the team. If you were going to go wide receiver here, I think you really need to go high and try to get yourself a, above the rest type playmaker that can separate themselves in that wide receiver group, because you just have a bunch of number 2s and number 3s on the team. We don't need to go in the third round and get another number 2 or number 3 receiver. It's not needed. I'm all for building depth, but we have a lot of depth at the wide receiver position, and I just don't think we really need to go in that direction. Although we do have 11 picks, there are definitely a lot of other positions we need to address early in the draft. Another reason to make the case of drafting a first-round wide receiver, you look at all of these contracts. I think Isaiah Hodgins is on a 1-year, Darius Slayton is on a 2-year, Parris Johnson is on a 1-year, Jeff Smith is on a 1-year, and he's a special teams guy. And I mean, that's about it. Wandale is coming back from an ACL injury. He's got 3 more years on his deal. I mean, we don't have a lot of guys that are projected to be here long term. It's okay drafting a wide receiver in the first round because you have the opportunity to keep this guy for 5 years and have some consistency in the wide receiver group. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think the Giants should drop wide receiver on their list of priorities and target more cornerbacks, interior offensive linemen? Or do you guys think, hey, this doesn't change anything, go ahead and draft a wide receiver in the first round, try to get your guy to separate himself from the rest? And leave your comments in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.